My wife of 18 years cheated on me with our daughter's boyfriend and drained her college fund, so I took brutal revenge. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these, but here we are. So yeah, turns out my wife was banging my daughter's boyfriend. That alone would have been enough, but nope. She also stole our kid's college fund. Let's get into it. 18 years into marriage I thought was fine enough. I opened my daughter's college portal to upload a 529 statement and saw a balance of $10. The last statement showed 68 grand and change. That morning it looked like a vending machine credit. My stomach didn't drop. It just got very still. That was the same stillness I felt 2 nights earlier when I recognized my wife's username in a Snapchat notification popping up on my daughter's iPad, followed by a photo of my daughter's 19-year-old boyfriend in our garage wearing my hoodie. My garage, my Wi-Fi, free admissions tour. I didn't confront anyone. Not yet. I'm 42 male. My wife, Melissa, is 38 female. Our daughter, Hannah, is 17, a rising senior, smarter than both of us combined. I'm an IT administrator, 200 a month into the 529. Autopilot since diapers. No skipped months, no IOUs. When Hannah was born, my parents seeded a 529. I added to it every month and opened a UTMA custodial account in Hannah's name. Birthdays, tax refunds, a chunk of my bonus when the company got acquired. Nothing flashy, just quiet deposits and a spreadsheet. Marriage was fine until it wasn't. About a year ago, Melissa started keeping her phone face down, lived at the gym, and began withdrawing cash for errands. She works as the office manager for a pediatric clinic. Gatekeepers know where the spare keys live. That's the problem with trust. It assumes adult settings. She knows billing, insurance, front desk workflow, all the stuff that runs on trust. Why's your phone always face down? I asked one night, more curious than accusing. She was at the counter loading the dishwasher like it had personally wronged her. It's a habit, she said without looking up. Work's been insane. Dr. Patel's kids have RSV again. Right, I said. And the cash withdrawals? She blinked. For errands. You know they only take cash at the farmer's market. We don't go to the farmer's market. She shrugged, washed a plate with the enthusiasm of a DMV line, and changed the subject. That had become standard. So had late nights at the clinic and gym trips that returned her home with perfectly dry hair. Around the same time, Hannah started dating Mason. Kid had a firm handshake, said sir, and called me Mr. L. He'd show up in a clean hoodie and talk about an intro to business class, like it was the finals of the NBA. I didn't hate him. I figured first boyfriends are like first cars. You want something reliable for a year so they learn not to crash. Melissa was way too excited about him. He's polite, she'd say. He needs guidance. I could help him with his resume. You don't even like making your own resume, I said. She grinned. Be nice. I let it go. People connect in weird ways, or they pretend to. FAFSA season hit. I logged into the 529 portal to grab a year-end statement. 12 years of deposits, birthday checks, and that one bonus when the company got acquired. I expected to see the usual number that made me breathe easy for 5 seconds. Balance, $10. UTMA withdrawals totaled $68,412.17. The 529 showed 3 transfers to an outside checking account. Combined loss was mid-5 figures before recovery. Not panic. Procedure. I don't raise my voice when the logs will do it for me. I didn't panic. I opened the UTMA custodial account. That one had the bigger number, built slowly. $68,412.17 2 months earlier. Current balance, $10. 4 withdrawals. Same branch across town. In person with a signature that was mine if I had broken my wrist and learned to write left-handed in a moving car. I said exactly nothing out loud. I took a breath, opened my spreadsheet, and started a new tab named Melissa in all caps because it felt clinical and I needed clinical. DoorDash charges. Zelle transfers to Mason labeled gas and books. Oil change receipts for a plate that wasn't ours. Life 360 logs showing Melissa's phone parked 3 blocks from a cheap motel during clinic hours. I drove to the clinic once anyway. Lights out. Took a picture of the door with the closed sign reflection smiling at me like it knew. Inventory night? I texted. Yeah, she replied. Long one. Got it. Need anything? Nope. Love you. I put the phone down and opened my gun safe of a brain. Checklist time. Next day, I went to print Hannah's math packet, and the printer was sulking with a paused AirPrint job. IMG 4827.HEIC from Mel's phone. Curious name for homework. I opened the spool on my Mac. Preview popped up with no drama, just stupid honesty. Mason in my gray hoodie, in my garage, leaning on my workbench. Mel's caption overlay was still burned into the image from Snapchat export. You look better in his hoodie. Background detail they didn't think about. Hannah's science fair board sitting 2 feet away. That's not romantic. That's inappropriate. I still didn't blow up. I backed out and checked the HomeKit activity again. Motion tags matched the photo timestamp within a minute. Then I pulled the Philips Hue history for the garage. Someone kept running a custom scene I didn't name. Studio Pink. Triggered 3 times last week, right in the same window as the MyQ logs. I don't name scenes like I'm shooting music videos. GarageCam is stingy on clarity, but live photos aren't. Mel has iCloud Photos sync on. I opened the family iMac Photos app and filtered by Garage in XIF location. 1 new clip. Hidden but not gone, saved to recents then moved. Live photo audio is always the snitch. 2 seconds of sound, her whisper laughing, his belt buckle clinking, my wall unit beeping to 70. Not explicit. Still not okay. Especially with my kid's bike hanging in frame like an accidental witness. Physical check for sanity. I went to the garage. The little Manfrotto phone tripod I bought for Hannah's stop-motion project was set up behind the miter saw with the legs splayed wide like it had seniority. My microfiber fender cover had foundation smudges dead center. Only person in this house wearing foundation doesn't pay for car parts. You know who doesn't wear foundation in my house? Me. For completeness, I opened Mason iPhone shows a heavy data spike during the same 34-minute window. I tapped device details. Last hostname hit, api.snapchat.com. Signal strength strong near the garage node. They were right under the access point, probably thinking bars mean privacy. Final straw was in files on the family iPad. Hannah doesn't use it. Mel does for recipes and Pinterest. Inside downloads, a scan from Genius Scan. Receipt _Sunco. _print _5x7 is.pdf. A batch of 5x7 prints paid with Mel's card, pickup ready. 1 thumb of a print preview visible in the corner. Mason in my hoodie again? This time with Melissa's hand on the drawstrings, their backs to my tool wall. My Craftsman socket set made an accidental appearance like a brand sponsor. That's not a date. That's disrespect in high definition. I closed everything like I was sealing a crime scene. No yelling, no speech, just a checklist. I had timestamps, network logs, lighting automation, a printer artifact, a live photo with audio, and a receipt tying it to real money. Inappropriate is doing a photo shoot in my garage next to my daughter's school project. Stupid is leaving a paper trail. Stupid is leaving a receipt trail with your name on it. Then I started building the plan. Quiet, documented, legal. If they wanted Studio Pink, I'd give them stadium lights. Honestly, the money wasn't what hurt most. It was watching my daughter's future get torched and realizing the person who did it yelled, "Go Hawks," at Mason's game like a proud step coach. I live in Georgia, a one-party consent state. That matters here. If your blood pressure spiked reading that, breathe. I did it right. I printed everything. 529 printouts, UTMA statements, withdrawal slips, card charges, Life 360 screenshots. I set my phone to record calls. All legal where I live. Then I called the bank's fraud line for the UTMA. "I'm the custodian," I said. "There are 4 withdrawals I didn't make. The signature isn't mine." The security officer, a guy named Don, went quiet for a second. "Sir, did anyone else have a copy of your ID?" "My wife had an old photocopy," I said. "In a garage file bin." "We have branch video," he said. The person presented an ID and signed withdrawal slips. "Hey, can I have that to share with law enforcement?" The bank opened a fraud claim and flagged the UTMA. "Branch video was preserved pending subpoena," he said. "If this is a minor's account, it's taken very seriously." "It is," I said. "Hannah is 17. He exhaled. "Understood." I hung up and made 2 appointments. A family lawyer and a financial crimes attorney. I brought a binder because I'm that guy. Tabs, color-coded. I labeled one tab criminal and another domestic, and wondered when my life became an Excel joke. The financial crimes attorney ran through it like she was speed reading the end of a thriller. "You did good not confronting," she said. "Freeze what you can freeze. Do not access any of her work devices. File the police report with your binder. The bank footage will do half our job." The family lawyer, Alec, added his list. "Move your paycheck. Freeze the credit. Temporary financial restraining order. Emergency use of the house. Exclusive control of accounts if the judge is awake when we file. Also, no more joint cards." "What about Hannah?" I asked. "Mission statement. Protect my kid. We'll file for temporary custody," he said. "Keep her away from the chaos." "Is this chaos?" I asked, deadpan. He glanced at my evidence stack. It's organized chaos. Also, I moved my paycheck to a new bank, shut down secondary cards, put fraud alerts on my credit, and my lawyer filed for a temporary financial restraining order. Legal? Yes. Petty? Also yes. I still didn't confront her. A Tuesday. Melissa texted the usual late inventory night. Inventory of what, exactly? Motel parking lot says, not syringes. Life 360 put her 3 blocks from that motel again. I drove by the clinic anyway, just to have the photo. Lights off, door locked, snapshot saved. I went home and pulled up the garage camera feed. At 9:13 p.m., our garage door opened. With it, my last doubt closed. Mason's Civic rolled in. Back seat, 2 shapes, not reading Shakespeare. I closed the garage door after the Civic was fully inside, sensors clear. No stunts. Then I called non-emergency and waited inside like dispatch told me to. I dialed non-emergency. Paperwork is a scalpel. Cops make the incision. The dispatcher sounded like she'd heard it all. Non-emergency. What's your issue? 2 people are trespassing in my garage, I said. I want them removed. No violence. I'm home. Door is closed. I'd like officers to document. Address? I gave it. Any weapons in the house? Locked, secured, I said. I'm not touching them. Stay inside. Officers are on their way. 5 minutes later, red and blue lights. Body cams. An officer knocked. Sir, can you open the garage? He asked. I did. Melissa climbed out of the Civic like she was walking into a performance review. Mason followed. Hoodie off now. T-shirt clinging to his stomach like it wanted off this ride. IDs, the officer said. Calm, professional. Melissa looked at me. Are you serious? Completely, I said. This is my house. He is not welcome here. Mason tried. It's not what you think, sir. Stop talking, Melissa hissed at him. Officers verified IDs. At my request, they issued Mason a trespass warning and told both of them to leave for the night to prevent a disturbance. They explained he couldn't return without my written consent and told them to leave. If you need to retrieve belongings, one added, you can arrange a civil standby tomorrow. Copy, I said. We'll do it the right way. I emailed my lawyer the incident number before the taillights disappeared. Melissa texted me from the driveway. You're insane. I typed an answer, deleted it, locked the door, and made a note. Garage incident number 23-1904. I changed the smart lock code. After the judge signed the order, killed her HomeKit access, and set my phone on the counter recording. One-party consent. Not a movie, but I still had a very particular set of skills. Timestamps, spreadsheets, subpoenas. 10 minutes later, headlights hit the blinds. Mel stomped up like she owned the deed, rang twice, then tried her dead key fob out of muscle memory. I opened the door on the chain. Open it, she said. It's open enough, I said. This is being recorded. She rolled her eyes. You're dramatic. I slid a manila folder through the gap. Front page, the 529 drain. Behind it, UTMA, withdrawals with the branch address highlighted, the Sunco print receipt stapled, and a screen grab from Life 360, sitting next to the motel pin like a bad Yelp review. I hit play on the 2-second live photo audio. Belt buckle. Thermostat beep. Her laugh. The color drained faster than the accounts did. I borrowed it, she said, voice paper thin. I was going to put it back. You forged my name on a miner's account? Banks don't do borrowed when the victim's a kid, I said. That's not borrowing. That's a charge. She pivoted to anger. Because that's the only free option in this economy. You don't get to police my life. I get to protect Hannah's future, I said. Here's what happens tonight. You're not staying here. You can grab your purse and your work badge. Clothes are tomorrow with a civil standby. Keys and garage clicker stay. You can't kick me out, she said. Officers told you to leave for the night, I said. Tomorrow I'm filing for emergency exclusive use. When it's signed, I'll change the codes. Until then, you leave peacefully. I'm also honoring common sense. Go to your sister's. Her mouth twitched. She hates owing anyone, especially family. I'm not going to Kelly's. Great, I said, stepping back and sliding the chain off. Then run to Trish's. Pick a sister. Doesn't change the plan. She shouldered past me 2 steps, reached for the hallway like habit, and saw the officer's card on the entry table, with the incident number I'd written big across the top. She froze. I pointed at the card, then at the door. Last time, purse and badge, I said. Anything else waits for a deputy. 2 beats. She grabbed her tote, checked for her phone, and looked me dead in the face like she wanted a fight I wasn't selling. You're insane, she said. You slept with a 19-year-old in my garage? I said steady. My daughter's boyfriend. I have the printer spool photo, the live photo with audio. The Sunco 5x7 receipt, HomeKit Studio Pink logs, and Life 360 sitting next to a motel like it's clocking in. It wasn't like that, she said. Belts don't click during conversations, I said, and he's trespassed. If he steps on this property again, he rides out in the back of a car with lights. We were basically separated, she tried. Joint return filed April 14th, shared utilities, shared bed last week, I said. You weren't separated. You were cheating with a kid who dates your daughter. She squared up like I'd fouled her on a layup. You're trying to humiliate me. I'm documenting crimes and protecting Hannah, I said. Here are the rules. You don't contact him, you don't contact Hannah, and you don't come back without a deputy. Purse and badge only. Everything else is tomorrow at a civil standby. She looked past me at the entry table, saw the officer's card and the incident number again, and realized there wasn't a door out of this besides the literal one. Go to your sister's, I added. Right now. She grabbed her tote, jaw set, and stormed off the porch. Car fired up. Headlights swung east. That's the route to Kelly's split level. I locked the door, changed the code again, and noted the time. Then I sent Alec and Melissa a short summary. Cheating acknowledged, departure recorded, destination likely sisters. No speeches, just paperwork. I moved my paycheck to a new bank before sunrise. I removed her from every joint card. Fraud alert, all 3 bureaus. Alec filed for a temporary financial restraining order and emergency exclusive use of the home. The judge signed before lunch. I filed the police reports that afternoon. Forgery, identity theft, theft by conversion from a minor. The detective, Morales, listened without blinking. He took my binder like it was a birthday cake no one wanted to share. We'll subpoena the branch footage, he said. Your wife signed your name on UTMA withdrawals? Yes. For a minor's funds? Yes. He nodded once. That's not a domestic disagreement. That's a crime. On the way out, I sat in my truck and called the clinic's managing pediatrician, Dr. Patel. I need to meet, I said. It's about Melissa. It's serious. I have court orders allowing me to disclose. Come at 4, he said. Bring whatever you have. At 4, I handed him a neat folder. The order, the case number, a narrow summary of inventory nights, the non-emergency incident number, and the UTMA/529 timeline. He read like a man discovering a leak above an electrical panel. We appreciate you telling us, he said. We will investigate and handle within policy. I'm not here to rant, I said. Just making sure kids' info and your books aren't affected by anything related. You did the right thing, he said, which is what managers say when they're between disgust and paperwork. That night, Melissa texted, "You're blowing this up. We can talk." I typed, "All future communication through counsel." Sent. Then I turned my phone face down on purpose. I waited until I had more than suspicion. When the case number was real and the orders were signed, I sat Hannah at the kitchen table. She came in with her backpack, dropped it, and opened the fridge. "Do we have any leftover chicken?" "We do," I said. "Sit for a second." She sat. Not dramatic. Just a teen who knows something's up. Because the adult in the room isn't doing his usual sarcasm. "I'm going to say this once," I said. "No graphic details. Just the facts. Your college accounts were emptied. Some of the money went to things for Mason. Most of it was moved to an account that isn't ours. The withdrawals from your UTMA were forged in my name. I filed police reports. There is a case number. The bank has video." She stared at the table. "There's more," I said, because ripping band-aids slowly is cruel. Mom has been meeting Mason off and on during the day. I have location data and a non-emergency incident report from last night. He will not be at this house again. Hannah blinked and then looked at me, jaw tight. "You're sure?" I nodded. She swallowed. "I'm going to throw up." I brought the trash can over like we were on a plane catching turbulence. She didn't throw up. She just breathed until her hands stopped shaking. "What do you want me to do?" I asked. She wiped her eyes. "Block him. Block her. Can we get my money back?" "We will," I said. "Not all at once, but we will." She nodded, then added, voice flat, "I'm done with him." Noted. "We move like adults now," I said. She looked at the wall and then at me. "Did she take pictures? At our house?" "We're not doing details," I said softly. "We're doing recovery." She nodded again. "I don't want to talk to her." "That's in the order," I said. "No contact without my consent." She stared at her hands. "Okay." I didn't say it would be okay. I said, "I've got you." 2 days after I told Hannah, a certified letter landed at Mason's dad's house. Trespass notice, no contact, and a short line that said, "Further civil remedies reserved." An hour later, I got a text from a number I didn't know. "Mr. L, this is Randall, Mason's father. I'd like to meet. No drama, 10 minutes. We met at a diner off Route 41. Booth 3 because he picked it, and of course he did. He walked in first. Mid-50s, forearms like he still actually fixes things. Not the type to emoji his way out of a mess. I ordered coffee. He ordered nothing. He set his phone on the table, screen down. I don't want this turning into a circus, he said. I also don't want my name in a complaint. Good, I said. Then we're aligned. I slid a slim folder across. 3 pages. First, a 1-page summary of transactions from the UTMA and 529 with dates, amounts, and the Sunco print receipt stapled for flavor. Second, the civil draft caption naming Melissa and John Doe as recipients of converted funds. Third, the affidavit template. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't tell a story. I just pointed at boxes and dates like I was doing inventory because I was. He read, didn't argue the words, just exhaled like a tire losing air slowly. He said it was gas and books. It wasn't, I said. And even if it wasn't hers to give. My son is an idiot, he said, but he's not a criminal. Georgia's consent laws weren't the issue. The crimes were theft by conversion from a minor's account and forgery. Then help him act like it, I said. I'm not here to ruin him. I'm here to replace money he helped spend and lock in sworn facts, so my kid doesn't have to testify about her own mother. I put my phone on the table, hit record, and said out loud, I'm recording. One-party consent. He nodded. No flinch. 10 minutes got real fast. He pulled a small legal pad from his jacket and did math like men do when the room tells them the bill is due. What number makes you not file that today? 15,000 now, I said. In certified funds, plus a sworn affidavit from your son that he received money or benefits from Melissa, knew it wasn't parental support, and that she initiated the relationship while he was 19 and she was married. It stays factual. No editorial. He agrees to testify if subpoenaed. You get a release on him upon payment and signature, and I focus the civil claim on Melissa. I'll still give the DA whatever I have. That part isn't negotiable. He blinked at the 15. Not a lot compared to the total, but enough to pay for Hannah's first-year gap and a message sent with postage. Affidavit protects him how? He asked. It protects him from me naming him a defendant, I said. It doesn't shield him from perjury if he lies. So he won't. Randall looked past me at the pie case like it could answer. Then I offered Randall one path. $15,000 certified today, plus a sworn, notarized affidavit from Mason admitting receipt of funds from Melissa and that she initiated the relationship while married. In exchange, I released Mason from my civil claim and focused on Melissa. The affidavit went to the detective and ADA. He stepped outside. 2 calls. Came back in with a flat manila envelope he'd left in his truck. He slid it over. It thumped like real money because it was. Bank logo, cashier's check, $15,000. 15 grand doesn't fix betrayal, but it buys credits and time. Check it, he said. I did. Legit. I texted Alec a photo and he shot back 3 words. Do the affidavit. Randall's jaw tightened. He's in the parking lot, he said. You want this done? We do it now. He signs. No speeches. Bring him to the hood of your truck, I said. I'm not doing this inside a diner like we're filming a reunion episode. We stood out by his F-150. Mason looked 10 years younger without the snotty confidence. He didn't make eye contact. Fine by me. I read the affidavit line by line. Dates, receipts, the garage, the transfers, the relationship originating with Melissa. No adjectives, no heat, just nouns and verbs. Do you understand this is under penalty of perjury? I asked. He swallowed. Yes, sir. Do you understand this affidavit may be provided to law enforcement and a court? Yes. Sign. He signed. The notary did her script. I scanned the pages to PDF with my phone, saved them to the criminal tab for Morales, and airdropped a copy to Randall. I handed Mason a printed copy of the trespass order and the return of property list. He nodded like a kid getting his first bad grade. Randall didn't apologize for his kid. He didn't ask me to go easy. He said the only thing that mattered. I'll get him out of your orbit. Make sure he stays out, I said. Driving home, I swung past a UPS store and dropped a copy of the cashier's check and affidavit into Alec's box. I texted Morales. Supplemental affidavit attached. Funds received to restore partial loss. He responded with a thumbs up and good for the ADA. Hannah didn't want details. She wanted outcomes. I told her, first tuition installment is covered. She nodded once like we'd replaced a cracked tile. Function over feelings. The next morning, Melissa tried to get ahead of the story with family. Vague Facebook post. Prayers needed for a difficult season with a controlling spouse. She went fishing for sympathy, so I posted a polite reply. For those concerned, case number is redacted. Please reach out to counsel if you have questions. We appreciate privacy for Hannah. Then I muted the thread. because smart people can read dockets, and dumb people weren't my assignment. She also called me 6 times. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. "We can fix this." I borrowed it. "I was going to put it back after taxes." "You're overreacting. This is our marriage, not a courtroom." Hannah saw the headline online. She looked at me across the breakfast bar. "She's handcuffed?" "Probably, yeah." "Okay," she said, and took a bite of cereal like it was the only stable thing left. Forwarded the voicemail to my attorney. He replied, "Thanks. Good admission." Several weeks later, Melissa called. "We're serving the warrant today. You might hear about it." "Okay," I said. "I won't show up. I'll keep my kid off social." He paused. "Smart." They arrested her at the clinic. HR walked her out. A mom from Hannah's volleyball team texted someone who screenshotted something into my messages. I did not engage. I forwarded everything to Alec with zero commentary. The first time I saw Melissa after the arrest, it was at a civil standby for her to grab clothes. 2 officers stood there looking bored. She looked at me like I'd ordered her favorite restaurant to be closed for renovations. "Can we talk?" she asked quietly. "We can exchange property," I said. "Communication goes through counsel." "This is ridiculous," she said, voice hard. "It was just a little money. I would have paid it back." "You forged my signature on a minor's account," I said, calm. "You paid a 19-year-old with your daughter's college money. That's not a little." She crossed her arms like she was taking a mugshot in her mind. "You're ruining my life." "You ruined your own life," I said. "I'm cleaning up for Hannah." Her mouth opened, closed, then opened again. "You always wanted control." I almost laughed. "I wanted a family. You wanted a thrill." She looked down, grabbed 2 duffel bags, and left without another word. The next day, I got an email from her lawyer. "My client wants to discuss reconciliation." Alec responded for me, "No," at the plea conference. A couple months later, DA offered, plead to felony theft by conversion and forgery, restitution, 5 years probation, first 120 days in county, no financial jobs, classes. If not, trial with branch video, forged forms, recorded admissions. She took the plea. Judge asked Hannah if she wanted to speak. She said, "I want my college money back and to finish high school without chaos." The judge wrote that into the order. Restitution started at $73 a week. It'll take years. That's fine. Pressure is pressure. Clinic terminated her. The state started reviewing her admin credential. Church asked her to step back. Her Facebook went quiet. Social circle got smaller than a phone booth. We finalized the divorce fast. I kept the house and retirement. She kept her car and debt. There's a civil judgment accruing interest in Hannah's name. Orange isn't the new anything, but broke is definitely the new broke. A week later, Mason texted me. "Can we talk, sir?" "About everything." I stared at the screen. The audacity, but also the stupidity. I replied with exactly 1 line. "All communication goes through my attorney." He called anyway. I let it go to voicemail. His message was a mess of excuses. "It's not what you think." She told me you 2 were basically separated. She said the money was for school stuff. "I feel sick. I'm sorry. Please don't wreck my life." I forwarded that to counsel and to Morales. I didn't respond. I did, however, make sure Hannah had blocked him on everything. She sent me a screenshot like a kid turning in homework on time. Done. Behind the scenes, I heard from a neighbor that Mason's dad moved him out and cut him off. Not my circus, beyond making sure he never came near our house again. Certified letter served. No trespass. Not even to explain. Melissa tried to sneak in a text to Hannah from a new number. "We need to talk. You're being poisoned. He's turning you against me." Hannah slid her phone across the table to me and said, "What do I say?" "Say the truth," I said. She typed, thumb steady, "You drained my accounts. You slept with my boyfriend. I'm not being poisoned. I'm being a grown-up." I watched her hit send. She swallowed and added, "You slept with my boyfriend, Mom?" Out loud, like she needed to hear it outside her head. No reply came. That silence was heavier than any insult. Hannah got a partial scholarship to a state school. Between the bank's recovery, restitution, a grant her counselor helped with, and me stacking weekend server gigs, year 1 is covered. We opened a new 529 with 2 guardians, multiple alerts, and a rule taped inside the folder. Trust is not a control. Melissa did her 120 days and checks in with probation weekly. She's at a warehouse job. She occasionally blasts me a paragraph about healing. I forward it to my lawyer. Boundary respected. You've already done the hard part. The plan is clean, the consequences are public, and the kid is protected. Trim the fat, pick your best receipts, and let the docket carry the revenge. Sometimes I think about the night in the garage and how easy it would have been to blow up and make it messy. But messy helps the person who lies for a living. Paper helps the kid who got robbed. She lost the money, her job, and the narrative. Hannah starts college on time. Paperwork greater than panic. Sometimes 6 months out, the house is quiet in the right ways. Restitution hits on Fridays, tuition's funded. Hannah's packing for state. The garage is back to tools and sawdust. Studio Pink is a can of primer on a shelf. I'm dating. Her name's Erin, 36, ICU nurse, divorced. No interest in fixing men or mentoring teenagers. Met at a Saturday self-defense class I signed up for to keep my brain from idling high. Date 2, I laid out the docket and the mess. She read it, nodded once, asked about boundaries. Green flag. We keep it clean. Separate finances, separate passwords, location sharing only for meetups, calendars synced for logistics. She brings protein bars to hikes. I bring a torque wrench when her cabinet door sags. No triangles, no secrets, no inventory nights. If it lasts, great. If not, also fine. The point is the system works. Kid protected, money restored, consequences delivered, life recalibrated. Revenge finished what it needed to. The rest is maintenance and forward motion. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.